Recently, Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones addressed the issue of players kneeling during the national anthem. Jones said that he wished that President Trump would stop talking about the issue so often. But on the issue, and the Cowboys' policy is that players stand for the anthem, toe on the line. That's what he said. His son and the Dallas Cowboys executive vice president, Stephen Jones, well, he went several steps further than what his daddy did. So Stephen Jones told KTCK 96.7 FM that players should stand for the national anthem, quote, if they want to be a Dallas Cowboy. Stephen Jones also indicated that the team would punish players if they chose to stay in the locker room during the national anthem. Now, harken back to weeks ago when the NFL and the NFL owners, they came to an agreement on this new policy for players standing for the national anthem. All players, all team personnel was going to, they would have to stand for the national anthem if they were on the field. But there was an exception. If team staff or players did not want to stand for the national anthem, they could stay in the tunnel, they can stay in the locker room, somewhere that's not on the field. What Stephen Jones has just now said was, we don't give a damn about the new policy that we just helped implement. If players stay in the damn locker room, we're going to find them as a team.
In this situation, I don't know what's more morally repugnant. Like, I guess moral posturing from crooked evangelical leaders, or moral posturing from doggone CEOs and corporations and their leaders. Like, I don't know if, Stephen and Jerry Jones are patriotic. I don't know that. Maybe. But I think their positioning right now in regard to this issue is 5% patriotic and 95% market-based ambition. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that.
Because I just can't see it as anything else. It just seems like they're trying to harness the intrinsic value of patriotism and attach it to their brand. Think about what this looks like. Because, of course, they're NFL players, so they make millions of dollars, so you don't see it like this. But what are they saying? They're like, hey, look at our organization. And look at how we can control our players. We keep our players in line. Yep. We keep our players in line. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're not using the other word, but it's essentially the same thing. And I guess it's hard for people to see that because they make millions and millions of dollars, but the message is the same. And essentially they're telling the fans to, hey, you can come to our games. You don't have to worry about these uppity Negroes causing problems and rocking the boat. And
not on this team.
And making you feel bad.
Right.
So come to our game, America's team. Cowboys, Cowboy Nation. So that's the message that I get. I could be going out on a limb.
No, you're not. And you know what? You know what's even more disgusting about this? Well, I don't. You know what? I won't say that it's more disgusting, but it was a disgusting thing to see when you heard, or when you saw and you heard Dak Prescott talking about this. So Dak Prescott is the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, and he said about kneeling during the national anthem that he doesn't support it, and that it, quote, takes away from the joy of football. Now, this is absolute nonsense, because I understand that he's trying to toe the company line. I understand that he's trying to be a good boy for his franchise, for his ownership. But your explanation makes no sense, because if you're saying that kneeling during the national anthem takes away from the joy of football, are you playing football during the national anthem? The game has not started whatsoever. It's before football is played that this is actually going on. Nobody is like, once that whistle, like once that kickoff happens, nobody's like on the field like, you know what, I'm gonna shout out to Kaepernick. I'm taking this play off because I'm kneeling. Nobody's doing that.
Yeah, we kind of joked about that like a long time ago when we were dealing with this kind of same subject. Nobody's like in the middle of a play is taking a knee or throwing up a black power fist.
Like running the football.
Running the football. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody's doing
that after the play either.
Takes away from the joy of football.
It's not like like Kaepernick was at quarterback saying like B 25 B 25 audible police brutality. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's
Nobody's doing that.
Cops are bad. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't like screaming out like guess woke phrases.
Right.
He wasn't screaming. You know what I'm saying? He's like,
this was before the game. It doesn't take away from any joy of football. And then, so on Wednesday, he said, Dak Prescott, the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, he said on Wednesday, it's 2 minutes out of our day that we could also be spending embracing what our country should be and what our country is going to be one day that we know that it's not right now. That is the sad part about it, that it's not. Again, this is complete bullshit. You know how he's talking about what our country is not right now, but what we hope it will be in the future. You know how Dak, man. You know how you get the country to resemble a place that you want it to be? You gotta kind of talk about it, right? You gotta actually kind of address the issues, right? And what we see about this whole situation with the kneeling during the national anthem is that nobody actually wants to talk about the issues. Players have been very clear, and they have articulated their position very clearly about why they are taking a knee during the national anthem. But the people that are anti these players don't want to hear it. They're saying, stop, I don't want to hear you. Na 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 na. Stand up. Na 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 na. Stand up. So if Dak actually wants this country to become the better place that he knows it is not right now, but that someday he hopes it is, then you should probably be supportive of people that are trying to raise awareness to the issues that are keeping us from being that better nation.
I see what you're saying. So in order to get to that better place, we have to address those issues that like don't make us that better place, that are keeping us from creating that better place. So
that
until we
sense.
Address those issues, that better place won't be created. It just doesn't make any sense to be like, hey, quiet down right now. Deal with those things to make us feel comfortable. But it's not really surprising because we can't really just see Dak as a football player. We got to see him as a part of this fabric of America. We have to consider that he too kind of buys into that symbolic patriotism. We can't assume just because he's a football player,
that's true, that
somehow like that experience as a football player is going to override his kind of nationalistic sense of being. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, I can't really blame Jerry Jones and Steven. His last name is Jones too.
Mm-hmm. That's his son.
His son.
Yeah.
I can't blame them. I mean, I can't blame them completely because who are they trying to appeal to? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Who are they trying to appeal to? I think they understand that there are plenty of Americans, that kind of buy into that kind of idea of unconditional patriotism. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? There are plenty of people that are willing to sell themselves out or sell the better part of themselves out that represents empathy and humanity in order to feel better about watching football. Yeah. There are too many Americans that are willing to sell themselves out and just ignore that better part of themselves, ignore the better part of humanity, so their feelings won't get hurt when they watch football. So you got a bunch of Americans selling themselves out, no different than our politicians do, just on a different kind of tip.
As Stephen Jones said, if you want to be a Dallas Cowboy, you stand for the national anthem, right? That's what takes me to Dallas. I mean, that's what takes me to Greg Hardy. So Greg Hardy, he's a former NFL defensive end. He played for the Carolina Panthers, but in 2014, he was accused by his former girlfriend of savagely beating her and threatening to kill her. The Panthers placed him on the commissioner's exempt list after the first game, and he stayed there for the rest of the season. So she ended up changing her story, but many believed it was because she was scared of Hardy. So NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell found, quote, sufficient credible evidence that Hardy was guilty and suspended him for 10 games, which was later reduced to 4 games. Enter the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys signed Hardy in March of 2015. He was suspended for the first 4 games to begin the season, but for the last 12, he played as a member of the Dallas Cowboys. So the Dallas Cowboys were okay with the man that savagely beat his former girlfriend, or his girlfriend at the time. I don't remember if it was his girlfriend at the time or former girlfriend, threatened to kill her. The pictures, if you see them online, I mean, if you look it up and you see them online, it was horrific. But the Dallas Cowboys said Greg Hardy can have a place as a member of the Dallas Cowboys. But people that kneel for the national anthem, you have no place inside this organization.
Remember what I said about moral posturing? Empty moral posturing. And that's an example of how their position, the position they're taking in regards to people standing, is very morally empty.